Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan football team have completed 6 of 15 spring practices now for 2021. I want to take you through 5 interesting pieces of information I've picked up over the last 2 weeks of spring practice. We've got 9 more, so I'll be practicing for another 3-4 weeks here, but we'll tell you what we know right now coming up on the Michigan Football Report. Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/MichiganTV. We're at 12,834 subscribers. Just need 160 some odd of you to subscribe to get to 13,000. This is the channel with the most subscribers on the internet for Michigan football. So make sure you become an MFer, Michigan Football Report. If you subscribe, that makes you an MFer. It is youtube.com/MichiganTV. Topic number 1 for today is the quarterback position. It's J.J. McCarthy season. Am I right? Am I right? Nope. It's Cade McNamara season as we stand right now, 6 practices in with this team. Wow. Well, what's J.J. McCarthy? He can't get the starting job, right, James? No. Well, I mean, come on. Cade McNamara, he started last year, a game or so. He fielded nicely against Rutgers, struggled outside of that. Joe Milton's transferred. You can't really expect a true freshman quarterback to take the job spring practice, his first season, when he really should be a senior in high school right now, getting ready for spring break, getting ready to go to prom in a couple months. What do you expect here? So don't call J.J. McCarthy some sort of disappointment if he doesn't even start this spring, the fall, or hell, even next season. Cade McNamara, third year in the program. We all know about what he brings to the table. 2 years in the offense with Josh Gass. Let's expect him to be the starter for game 1. And if he's not, that means McCarthy has exceeded expectations. But you guys know as well as I do, in the last 20 years, there's been one quarterback to come in and start as a true freshman that's exceeded expectations. And that guy is Chad Henne, who's pushing 40 years old right now. So let's not, get our panties in a bunch if J.J. McCarthy isn't the truth, the end-all, be-all. Hell, Trevor Lawrence didn't even start to his 5th game at Clemson. Let's relax here on J.J. McCarthy. Coming up on number 2 in our 5-pack of Michigan football news and insight into spring practice is Alan Bowman transferred with the expectation that he has the opportunity to start for this team. He's not going to get the opportunity to participate in spring practice. He's still at Texas Tech, trying to graduate, and heck, he might be taking online classes, so maybe he's in and around Ann Arbor now or in the next few weeks, but he's not participating in practice right now. So if you don't see his name in any of these updates, no big deal. That's fine. He won't have the ability to practice, but he asked Jim Harbaugh and the coaching staff told him, if your expectation is you want to transfer somewhere to get a great education and have the chance to start, Michigan can be the place for you, but you're not getting the guaranteed starting job. That's obviously not part of the process here. But if he's the best quarterback, he'll be the starter. And I truly believe that's what's going to happen. So I'll ask you guys this question. With 9 practices left in spring practice, the summer, and then the fall, starting in August, who will be the starting quarterback for the Wolverines? Let's just say for game 1 against Western Michigan in early September. If you think it's J.J. McCarthy, go and type J.J. If you think it's Cade McNamara, which I do for the game 1 at least, type Cade below. If you think it's Alan Bowman, the transfer from Texas Tech who started there as a freshman in 2018, go ahead and type Alan. I'll pin this comment below the video, and you might get with a news break. You might get hit with an ad here on YouTube. Go ahead, scroll down, answer the question, scroll back up. We'll be done with the ad. How about the wide receivers? Michigan, I think, had an abundance of talented wide receivers in 2020, but not a ton of proven ones, and that's how it played out in the field. Game 1 looked well. Joe Milton spread the ball all around, but when it came down to it, there was really no one outside of this man here, Ronnie Bell, who proved to be a dedicated potential number 1 wide receiver in his 3rd season in Ann Arbor. And from what we've been told, 6 practices in 2021, that's the case now heading into this next season. Really a make-or-break season for this entire Michigan football program is that Ronnie Bell is your unquestioned number 1 wide receiver. Certainly Cornelius Johnson, A.J. Henning, Giles Jackson, Mike Sainristil. There's a lot of guys who you know their name that are going to compete for that number 1 job or compete to be a top-level player at Michigan at the wide receiver position, but too many inconsistencies. Not giving enough effort. Not being reliable to your quarterback catching the ball. Ronnie Bell's had a few drops himself. We all remember that Penn State game, but he is going to be your number 1 wide receiver for what I consider the 3rd season in a row after in 2019 with Donovan Peoples-Jones, Tariq Black, Nico Collins on the roster. I think he was the number 1 wide receiver then. Frankly, I think in 2019, maybe outside of Shea Patterson, he was your team MVP. So that is what I think on the wide receiver position. Ronnie Bell will be the number one option the spring, the summer, and into this 2021 season. And frankly, I hope he returns for our 2022 season, even if he has the opportunity to go pro. He's not going to be a first-round guy, so he'll have eligibility to do so because 2020 did not count against his NCAA eligibility. How about another wide receiver? Xavier Worthy, top wide receiver recruit in 2021 recruiting class. Dabbled with other schools, Alabama most notably, but then ultimately signed with Michigan in December, expected to enroll in January, but was not given the opportunity to by Michigan admissions. He has been in Ann Arbor for upwards of 2 months now almost. I'm looking at the date over here, March 7th, almost 2 months right now, being told he has not left. I don't know where he's staying. Could be staying with a friend of the team. I'm not sure. Could be renting a place. We don't really know that information, but he intends to enroll at Michigan come June when the rest of the class is allowed to. I'm not sure if there's a discrepancy with what he had going on with admissions and graduate high school early, but he's staying in Ann Arbor, not practicing for the team right now in spring, but it's around the team. And I think that should put to bed any potential he's going to transfer elsewhere. He's not going to sign his, come into school. He's going to ask out of his letter of intent that a lot of people have been speculating over and around on the internet. So Xavier Worthy, I expect him fully to be a part of this team in the 2021 season. I expect you guys to be fully a part of the team here in the Michigan Football Report. You're an MFer, Michigan Football Report, MFR. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Scroll below the video. You see that big red button on the right side for you to subscribe. Hit it. Hit it if you haven't yet. If you have, thank you. That makes you guys an MFer. If you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Just do it. What do you want to watch? Sloppy Sam Webb and his drivel of fake news that he pours out on the radio every day? No, you want to come to Michigan Football Report, get the straight facts here from your boy, host James Yoder. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter at James Yoder. Number 5, and our last piece of information, a little nugget of information for you today here on the show. Hassan Haskins remains your number one running back heading into the spring. After 6 practices, he is getting the snaps with the number one running backs. Zach Charbonnet has moved on. He's going to UCLA. Chris Evans decided not to come back for his 6th season, although he had eligibility for. He's headed to the NFL, hopefully, and Blake Corum is actually going to play more of a flex role, which he's done so far this spring, which we saw a lot of this past fall, where he'll get the ball out of the backfield, he'll catch passes to the backfield, and if the opportunity arises, he can potentially even catch passes out of the slot as a wide receiver. So we'll see how that goes. Hassan Haskins, number one running back. Blake Corum playing more of a flex role. They want to get the ball in his hands, but he's not proven that he can be the number one guy in the backfield. And so I think the biggest lessons Michigan hopefully is learning to overcome from the 2020 season heading into 2021 is that you don't have to rotate 4 or 5 backs all the time to make them all happy. You could play a role like Blake Corum is going to play, which is catching the ball out of the backfield, which is getting some end arounds, line up a wide receiver, and let Hassan Haskins take 75-80% of the snaps at the running back position, and then, of course, move some other guys in there in those 20% of snaps that he is not part of the rotation. That's all for the show today, folks. If you have not, I'm going to throw a little subscribe button right here, so make sure you hit that, subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/MichiganTV, the Michigan Football Report, number one channel on YouTube for Michigan football news. If you missed any of my videos from earlier in the week, I'll toss those up for you right here and right here. Go Blue.